Welcome to New Awakenings with Edgar, Cayce's A.R.E, where we have some incredible conversations that are designed to help us all as we either embark or continue our journey towards enlightenment. We're your hosts, Karen and Will.
Our guest today is a crystal healer, a certified sound healer, and a Reiki practitioner. Now, she's been a lifelong musician, and she got into energy work while exploring ways to overcome creative blocks that she had in her music, in her songwriting. And since she found the effects of vibrational healing techniques so beneficial to her creativity, she decided to undertake formal studies in crystal, sound, and Reiki healing.
And with that, she has begun to offer one-on-one private and group sessions with a focus on working with musicians, facilitating sound baths at local songwriting retreats. That sounds like fun. Music studios and music venues to ease performance anxiety and to optimize the creative flow. While she's originally from Chesapeake, she is currently in Nashville, but she is here with us today. Welcome to the show, Kayce Laine.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
We are very happy to have you in person. This is awesome.
So fun. Yeah. I'm glad it worked out.
Yep, us too. Now, let's dive right into the sound bath, because I've always wondered, do I have to shower before I go? Because it means a bath, right?
Showering is optimal just in general.
Yeah, there's lots of misnomers with that name. It's not necessarily one that I would have given the experience, and it's not really up to me at this point.
Right.
But
yeah, ship a sail.
Yeah, there's no water, there's no bath. You wear your clothes the whole time, so
oh man,
it's definitely you are bathed in frequencies. You're bathed in sound. So I get why it's called that, but again, not really what I would have picked, I think.
Right.
Well, you know, it's really incredible how the effect sound has, like music. I used to set my clock radio that's how old I am, clock radio, to the radio station, and depending on which song woke me up could really kind of influence my feeling for the day.
Totally.
Why is it that sound is so impactful to us?
So my favorite way to talk about how sound healing works and just kind of sound in general is to think about, like you said, an alarm. Our bodies are so connected, our sense of hearing and our nervous system are so connected. And so that's why we wake up to alarms, because our ears are sensing for threats in our environment even when we're asleep. And so when we hear a sound that shocks us into action in fight or flight, we get up and we wake up and we're like, okay, let's I guess have this day. So there's all different types of examples throughout our day that we're kind of almost bombarded with sounds and frequencies from the time we wake up to text message notifications, email notifications, when we're driving in the car, people honking their horn. We're always kind of getting these little shots of cortisol in our system, kind of keeping our nervous system in a certain heightened level. And so when we work with sounds in a more healing capacity, we're working with sounds that are kind of designed to relax the nervous system, get us into rest and digest. And so that's really what people experience at a sound bath, is a combination of different instruments depending on the practitioner that are, again, kind of keeping you in that restful state and getting you to kind of counteract some of those stressors that you get throughout the day.
And I assume that different bowls emits different frequencies.
Yes.
And so I've seen people like a full-on orchestra, right? Yeah. You got kind of and a gong and all kinds of things. So as a musician, I would imagine that the mixing of the different hertz sounds is what sets you apart from a lot of other sound bath practitioners, perhaps, or sound healers?
Yeah. In a way, yes. And part of what I do, because I also sell crystal singing bowls and work with people to kind of build sets of bowls that are really in harmony, because
right.
Yeah, because you can really mess things up if you buy really cheap bowls. A lot of times they will be really out of tune with each other. The frequencies won't be in harmony. And I actually had a woman recently, a couple weeks ago, come to my house. She had bought this set of solfeggio frequencies, and solfeggio frequencies are there's a lot of things, and I know I've said we could go a lot of places in this interview. I will try to reel it in. But there's lots of misnomers out there around frequency healing, where they'll assign a certain healing outcome to a specific frequency that there's not really science behind. So people will bring in these instruments and like solfeggio frequencies, for example. Those are just very specific frequencies along the spectrum of what we can hear, and they're not necessarily in tune or in harmony with each other. And she brought me these solfeggio bowls, and it was just like, and I'm doing this because I'm a piano player, and I translated it to the piano. Because I'm like, okay, it's these very dissonant notes, but they're also in totally different tunings. So when people get bowls that are not in tune, it's like going to hear a guitar player and he doesn't tune his instrument before, right? You want everything to be sonically sweet, because it will mess with people's nervous systems too. It'll be uncomfortable to listen to.
So that made a question pop in my head, which is, so why can't you just play the piano? Like, what's the difference between having a sound bowl for healing than just like strumming the guitar? I mean, if you're good at it, because if you're bad, obviously. But but like, why is it better to have a bowl?
I feel attacked, Karen.
Well, I think you can totally. In fact, I was getting a massage a couple days ago, and the whole time during the massage, it was this like beautiful guitar playing in the background, and I was like, it is nice that I'm, you can get beautiful healing outcomes from listening to a piano as well. And going to concerts, there's something so healing about that. Going to a symphony, it's like you feel these vibrations in your body. And I think, like what you were saying at first with the alarm, like different songs are going to bring up different emotional states and different responses in your physiological self. And so I think all music can be totally healing, and I think it is, especially when we put the right intention behind it. And I think that's kind of what sets this apart a little bit. So there's a guy named Jonathan Goldman, and you guys actually have his book, The 7 Secrets of Sound Healing, in the bookstore here. I was like, I love that they have that here. It's a great one. And what he talks about is the fact that sound healing has been used across cultures for millennia, right? There's in every place, every culture would use different instruments and work in totally different ways to achieve these healing outcomes that somehow would still work. And he was like, how is that possible that these people are using Tibetan bowls and gongs, and these are using drums, and what's the common thread here? Like, how is this all working using totally different instruments? And what he came up with, which is like a formula and something I think of all the time, which is frequency plus intention equals healing. And it's all about that intention piece, and what we as the practitioners, you as the listeners, receivers, are intending to receive from the sonic exchange. So if I'm playing a crystal singing bowl and I'm having the intention of, I want to work with your heart chakra and send you loving energy, and I'm kind of encoding that intention on the frequencies that you're receiving, then you're going to feel that. If I don't have a positive intention and I'm not focusing on that, and I'm thinking about like how annoyed I was on the way here with the guy that cut me off, or all of that, like people feel that energy. And so that's why it's really important as practitioners to really work with our own healing, and so we can show up fully and serve our clients from the highest state, so that they will feel better.
Fascinating, makes perfect sense. I never had thought about that. That it is your energies going into and coding into the sound waves that are reaching the people that you're reaching. That's scary.
So it's not just the sound.
Right.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
So then you go to these spiritual fairs everywhere, and there's the stands with the 1,000 crystal balls, and people are playing on them, and there's all different frequencies happening all at the same time. Are those
beautiful?
a danger to you? Should you stay away from that particular table, or?
Run by.
Well, great question. I think it really depends on you and how it's making you feel. And that's one of my passions as an educator in this field, and training people to work with sound, is to really create that appreciation for having instruments that are in tune, understanding the difference between harmony and what that feels like in the body versus dissonance and how that feels in the body. Because they're two totally different experiences. And you're a musician, is that what I'm gathering? You have
failed musician, but yeah.
Don't
You
say
are
that.
not.
And you know that like it does it does totally affect your body and your nervous system depending on what combination of frequencies you're healing. And you really need to know as a practitioner. It's one of the reasons why I created a course last year called Music Theory for Sound Healers, is because you really need to know what you're doing, right? Like, and I think part of the problem these days is, yes, sound healing has grown tremendously over the past decade or two and gotten very popular, and it's great. It's like amazing, and I love it. And also, it's gotten really easy to buy bowls off of Amazon for cheap and just show up the next day at a yoga studio, you know, play bowls, call yourself a sound healer without having an education behind it. And so that's, again, why I created the course and am so passionate about hosting these workshops, is because it really does impact people's nervous systems.
Sure.
You can feel sick, you can get a headache, you can, like, I mean, people have talked about walking out of sound baths before because they felt so uncomfortable in there.
The bass that used to play, he used to like have the music in his little car, and like the bass would just make me nauseous.
Yeah,
After a while.
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. I think I heard somewhere someone say that music is the medicine of the future. That's Edgar, Cayce,
Yeah,
or something.
some guy.
Right. So it makes great sense. Right?
It does, but before we move on, I want to ask, so your course is music theory. Our daughter
Yes.
is a musician. She's going to music school right now, and she has a music theory class, and she's like the notes and the beats. Is that the same type of music theory? Like
Sort of, yeah. And you know, I grew up, again, playing music, and I never learned how to read music. Like, I learned how to, but I didn't ever do it because I could just play by ear so much easier.
It's just
Yeah,
like our
that's what
daughter.
she is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I kind of will just kind of skip over the sight reading and stuff like that as much as I could get away with. And so I don't know exactly what she's doing, but it is the same thing. And that's the thing about crystal bowls specifically in the sound healing landscape as an instrument, because they are so locked in with their frequency. And you think about the way it is different from a piano or a guitar, like this frequency will not change ever.
So it just has that one
It has
note,
one
sort
very
of.
pure frequency that you can't change. So again, you can't tune it later. You got to buy it in tune. But yeah, as far as the actual musicality, they're sold in specific notes that they've kind of correlated different notes of the C major scale to our different chakra systems, and there's no exact science there. It's more of that intention piece of like, this is a third eye bowl. It's an A note, and even if you listen to it, and I'll just briefly play it, it's an A note above middle C.
Ooh, wow, you can.
And that's what's so cool about crystal bowls, is you really feel them as
Feel
much
it,
as you
man. It's
hear
like,
them, right?
love
It's like a
Ooh.
full body experience.
Yeah.
So
Holy moly.
So yeah, they've really kind of westernized a lot of stuff around crystal bowls specifically. Again, it's like the C major scale, right? It's the chakras, it's the rainbow. It's like, you know, and again, a lot of that comes into intention. But if you don't know music and you're sitting there playing your F bowl and your B bowl at the same time and not realizing that that's a tritone and really unnerving to listen to, it can make people feel uncomfortable. So
Right. So that might make sense why I don't play my sound bowl anymore.
what, do you have an F and a B?
No, I have no idea. I've got
A bowl.
a bowl. It's a metal bowl. It's not a crystal bowl, but.
Oh, those are great too.
yeah.
A little less specific on the tuning. That's why, again, it's a lot of it is crystal bowl specific as far as the musicality of it.
So you mentioned tuning it, like you have to tune it as you make it. So I just assumed that the shape of it or whatever is what made it a particular frequency. This is not the case. You can actually modify the frequency of a crystal bowl?
Not after it's made. Other than the one little loophole is you can, if you put water in them, and I don't know if you've ever seen that, and it is cool.
Well, I've seen
to see water.
the glasses, right? Playing with
Yeah,
the
the
glasses.
different-
right?
Yeah, and if you put water into a crystal bowl, which you can totally do, it's not going to mess anything up. You can see the sound and actually see the shapes that it makes, and it's a really cool thing. So you should do that with your metal bowl as well.
That's my next meditation
That's
video.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
And
Yeah.
what does happen is it does lower the frequency. So you could theoretically, if you got a bunch of bowls that are out of tune from Amazon or whatever, you can theoretically add add specific amounts of water until you get it in tune with the rest of your set.
You'd have to have a really good ear,
I was
though.
going to say,
Well, there's
training.
an app for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's
you
an
can
app
get-
for everything.
You can get tuning apps and play with it. But yeah, so the size of the bowl typically will change the frequency of it. And so not always, not like all the time, but just like with any other instruments, your lower notes are going to be your bigger strings on a guitar or a piano.
Right.
It's bigger is going to be lower, smaller is going to be higher. So the bigger the bowl, the lower the note, the lower the frequency. Smaller the bowl, the higher the note, the higher the frequency.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, well, we are running low on time, but I got to get one more question.
No,
in.
Yeah.
we still have a couple minutes.
Do we? Okay, phew, enough time for my question. So, we all are kind of in this space, we meditate, etc. If someone isn't in this space at all, can they, and they're skeptical, let's even add beyond that, can they benefit from sound healing?
Absolutely. I think music and sound, and as Edgar Cayce said, it's the future of medicine. And I think that, I think you probably work with sound healing without realizing it, like you said, again, with the alarm waking you up and choosing a song that's going to put you in a specific mood, listening to a certain track that is going to make you feel something or not feel something specifically. We work with sounds in our daily lives so kind of naturally and seamlessly, and all it does, all you have to do is just start kind of paying attention to the way certain sounds in your home or environment are affecting you. Because if you're sitting there all day and you have like, grunge, heavy metal, rock music playing in the background, it's going to be a very different experience than if you had some like Enya, I'm a big Enya fan. If you have, or like, some synthy meditation music, it will change how you work in the world. And so just starting to build an awareness around your sonic hygiene, as I like to call it, and
like
and then taking some time to sit in silence, even, is like a form of sound healing, right? Listening to 5 minutes of relaxing music at the end of the day to just kind of regulate the nervous system.
Or at the beginning of the day.
Yeah,
Starting
or
day.
the beginning of the day, or both, ideally.
Right? Or all day long.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it would affect different people differently, because I know after like 7 o'clock, so our daughter's into all kinds of, like, anything from K-pop to, what is that, like heavy metal, kind of like just a little bit of
Sleep
everything.
Token.
Sleep Token,
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And after a certain time of day, I'm like, okay, no, you can't, it has to be calm music.
Yeah.
And she knows, like, 7 o'clock, I'll put it on something calm, Mom. I'm like, yeah, because it just like tweaks me, but she's
Yeah.
fine with it. So I guess it really depends on,
Different
maybe it's an age
frequencies,
thing.
It's also an age thing. I do think like you have a higher tolerance for energy when you're
Yeah.
younger.
'Cause I used to like all that stuff back then. I mean, I still kind of do, just not after 7.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's valid. I mean, and you are like regulating the sonic environment of your household when you do that, and that is, that's working with sound to help, right?
Sonic hygiene. I love that.
I do too.
I
Yeah.
think that should be the name of this episode. Sonic
I love
hygiene.
it. Yeah.
So you should get a sonic hygienist
Yeah.
t-shirt.
That is funny. Is there anything we haven't talked about we want to make sure that you get out there for those of the folks that are listening or watching, that you want to make sure that they impart from the conversation?
Yeah, I think, if you're someone who's interested in becoming a sound healer, I would just say to really take it as a responsibility, because, I think it's interesting, you would never go to a personal trainer or a yoga teacher who hasn't been certified and had training behind the craft before you trust them with your body, right?
Yeah.
And I think that sound healing has, for whatever reason, had a different there's just a different mentality around it, and it's just really important to, take it as a responsibility, because you are impacting people's physical and mental well-being when you offer sound and you hold that space. So it is something to really be, just cautious about, and take that as a responsibility to learn as much as you can about it. And similarly, if you just want to go experience a sound bath, I would do a little research on who's hosting and who's facilitating, and make sure they feel like someone that is trustworthy and you feel like you align with their vibe.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. And sound is actually used in science and in medicine. People have ultrasounds and all of that stuff. So
Totally.
it is a tool that you have to be careful with. You don't want just anybody
Yeah, you could
working on you.
To your point, you could definitely see it in the water. You could see
Yeah.
It is there's a definite vibrational shift when you hit that. When you put water in it, you can actually see it. I've seen those tuning
I
forks.
can
They put it in the
feel it.
water, and you see the ripples.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
So you can definitely see it. So, thank you so much.
Yes, if someone wanted to schedule a session with you, before we go,
Yeah.
what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I would say my website, kaycelaine.com. I don't do a ton of one-to-one sessions anymore these
Okay.
days because I'm focusing more on the education side. And so, yeah, I think, if you're interested in learning more about sound healing, I do trainings online through the International Sound Healing Academy. I have my Music Theory for Sound Healers course that's just kind of evergreen and out there whenever you need it. And then, just follow me on Instagram. I do live events in this area, in Nashville, and I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. So,
And if someone wanted to purchase singing bowl or crystal bowls,
Yeah,
we
hit
know
me
where to
up.
go. Right? Right?
yeah, I have a free video. It's like under 15 minutes of like how to purchase a bowl because there's so many things to consider. So yeah.
So watch
it's
the
important.
video, then come here, go to the gift store.
Yeah.
Your perfect
And get your bowl. Right?
Love it. Amazing.
Kayce, it's been beautiful having a chance to connect with you today. Thanks for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you guys so much. This was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
That does it for this episode of New Awakenings of Edgar Cayce's A.R.E. If you missed any part of this interview or any of our others, all you need to do is go to edgarcayce.org/resources. You'll find all the episodes laid in there, so it's easy for you to catch up. See you again on the next episode of New Awakenings with Edgar Cayce's A.R.E.